It's now mid-March. The weather's getting warmer, the leaves are returning to the trees, and the blossoms are starting to bloom. It seems like a good time to talk about love. Shalom, my friends. Yes, love, one of the most beautiful parts of life. It's interesting that the Torah, which is Genesis through Deuteronomy, only tells us to love 3 times. Love your neighbor, love the stranger, and love God. Today, I want to focus on love between people and share with you a beautiful teaching about love. I hope this subject doesn't make you uncomfortable. Not everyone can talk about love easily.
Just let me hear you tell him you love him. Oh, come on. Go on, tell him. Love is never having to say it, right, Dad? That means it is right.
In fact, love in general takes effort, but it's worth the effort. It can transform relationships, which can blossom into lifelong companionship. Today, I'm going to suggest that love can not only transform relationships, but ourselves as well. That brings me to the teaching I mentioned at the top of the video. Unfortunately, we no longer know who it was who taught this, but it does come from the Chasidic Jewish tradition. Here it is. We see our reflection in water only when we bend close to it. So too your heart must lean down to another's, then it will see itself in the other's heart. This anonymous teacher was telling us that we can only see ourselves in the reflection of another person if we are willing to bring ourselves down to the other. If we keep our distance, if we hold ourselves above others, we'll never be able to find a love that is real. Perhaps this is why the prophet Micah included walking humbly with God in his famous statement that God asks 3 things of us: to practice justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with him. Although the identity of this Hasidic master is lost to us, we do have a related teaching that comes from the actual founder of Hasidic Judaism, a man known by the appellation the Baal Shem Tov. He said, "Love does not find itself in the pursuit of perfection. Rather, one finds love in the acknowledgement of one's imperfection and the reality that one can only be completed, perfected with the other." 2 people who make one another better. A synergistic relationship in which the total is greater than the sum of its parts. It's not a bad way to look at love. And one of the beautiful points of this point of view is that it acknowledges that being in a loving relationship bears a dual blessing. The blessing of being the beloved and the blessing of being the lover. I believe it's this mutuality that helps us grow into better people through our loving relationships. Now, before I wrap up today, let me add 2 more little things. First, this video is being released on Friday, the 14th of March. This year, that's the Jewish holiday of Purim, the holiday described in the book of Esther in the Bible. So if you're celebrating it today, I wish you Chag Purim Sameach, a happy Purim. Second, on a very personal note, Purim is my mother's yahrzeit, the anniversary of her death. May she rest in peace. So this week's video is dedicated to my mother's memory. It's so appropriate that it was about love. which brings us back to where we began, love. What do you think of this Hasidic teaching? Let me know in the comments box. And if you enjoyed the video, or at least found it worthy of consideration, why not hit that thumbs up button and help get it in front of more viewers? There are other ways you can support our efforts at making videos on the major issues of life from a Judeo-Christian perspective. We have several generous patrons who support us with a $3 monthly contribution. To get your name on this list, click on the link to patreon.com in the description box below the video. And of course, it helps us if you subscribe to the channel at no cost whatsoever. To subscribe, you do have to be logged into YouTube. So log in, watch the video one more time, and subscribe by clicking on my face right over here. Or watch the last video we released by clicking on its icon right over there. As ever, until next time, Shabbat Shalom.